All right, so I'm going to do two examples for long division with polynomials. Victor sent me both of these, so I'm happy because otherwise I had to come up with an example. So first one, nice and challenging. We got negative 3y cubed plus 16y squared plus 3y minus 10 all over y minus 3. Now, the reason why we need to use long division here, we don't need to use long division when we're dividing by a monomial. If you look at the previous video, you'll see that. But if we have more than one term in our divisor, then we're going to have to use long division because we need to deal with both of those things as we do our multiplication step, right? And that dead mouse smells bad. So just a reminder, if you wanted steps, we had our very silly mnemonic of dead mouse smells bad, where dead stood for divide, M was for multiply, S was for subtract, and B was for bring down, right? We come up with some other examples. I can't remember what the awesome one was that Kat had, but it was something like do math, stay busy. I think that's what it was. And then I know that there was like dude my skateboard. So whatever it is that you need to remember this, that's the steps. And they're the exact same as regular long division. So if you were just dividing a number by another number, same exact steps. So you can kind of build that out if you want to when you're trying to figure out what the heck you're supposed to do. So here is our question. First thing we want to do is the divide steps. I'm going to do each of these off to the side. So divide, when we're dividing, we only care about the first terms of the divisor and the quotient, the two things we want to work with here. So negative 3y cubed wants to be divided by y, which means we need a negative 3y squared, right? We're just doing division here. So one of the y's cancel, or we do 3 minus 1 to get that. So we're going to write that up front, up top. And I like to go ahead and line up, it doesn't matter, but I like to line up so that my degrees are the same. So the degrees of a y squared is going to go above the y squared. That lets me know when I'm done. The next step is to multiply. So for the multiply step, we're going to take that negative 3y squared, this, and we're going to multiply it by our divisor. So that times y plus 3, do that off to the side, that's negative 3y cubed plus 9y squared. Oops, God, minus 9y squared. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and write that below. This is what we've managed to accomplish. Now we're going to do the subtract piece, right? The subtract, we need to take and we need to subtract off all of this stuff. So we're going to go ahead, what I like to do so that I don't, my goodness, I keep trying to change that sign, so that I don't make any sign errors, is I like to just go ahead and change the signs on both of these and leave it as addition. If you can keep subtraction straight in your head, you're welcome to do that. So now we're ready. Oh, that's a huge line. Now we're ready to subtract. So negative 3, positive 3, these cancel. That was the whole point. 16 plus 9 gives us 27y squared. This is the other reason we want these things to line up. Give us more space. And then we're to the B, the bring down. So bring down is just bring down the rest of what we're dividing. Technically, you only need to bring down as many terms as you have in your divisor, but I'll just bring down both, because why the heck not? And then we start the process over again. Again, we divide, this time with our new first term. So 7y squared, we got to divide that by the y, so we need 27 y's. Positive. Then we do our multiply. That 27y, well, it's got to multiply to both pieces of our divisor, so our y plus 3. So this is 27y squared, which we did on purpose, right? So they'd cancel. Plus, 81. Is it 81? I can't, my brain can't handle math right now. Yes, it's 81. Y. So we're going to go ahead and write that down. 27y squared plus 81y. And then we're going to come in and subtract. So we're going to go ahead and change the signs on both of these guys, right? So minus, minus. And then we can see what's left. 3 minus 81 is a negative 78. Should be using a calculator. And then we'll bring down that negative 10. And we do the same process one last time. divide. Negative 78y divided by y is negative 78. This time I'll do the multiplication on the fly because I'm running out of room. So negative 78 times y is a negative 78y. Negative 78 times 3, oh god, I need a calculator. Negative 234. I'm going to check my work with Victor's really quick because I feel like I screwed up somewhere. I have a big ass number. What did I do? I wrote down the question wrong. Oh my god, I'm leaving this, but I wrote down the question wrong. Guys, I'm sure you're yelling at your computer screens. Why? Oh my god, scroll. Why, if it was y minus 3, did I write y plus 3? Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm going to keep going as if it was y plus 3. Because I did not. Oh, goodness gracious. This is gross. All right. Sorry. There was a mistake. Anyways. Write down the question correctly. I'm going to change my signs. And then I will go ahead and finish this up. The last number that we get here is a positive 224, which is great. Crazy big. But, you know, these things can happen, especially when you don't write down the question correctly. So our final answer, well, it's all this stuff up top. So we have our negative 3y squared plus 27y minus 78. And then we did have a remainder, 224, all over the thing we were dividing by. We need a plus sign between those. So this is our final answer for my incorrect long division. If you want another one of those, try doing it with the right numbers. So that same question, it would be, let me write it down correctly this time, and I'll just write it down in the form y minus 3, negative 3y squared plus, oops, y cubed. Writing down questions correctly is probably the hardest step for me. I always write them down wrong. 3y minus 10. So if you want to try one on your own, that's the one to try. And then if you wanted to work it all the way out, what you should get as your correct answer, negative 3y squared plus 7y plus 24 plus 62 over that y minus 3. So try it out, check your own. I'm going to do, oops, another one. I don't know what happened to my thing. I'm going to do another one that's a little bit harder, which Victor also sent me. So here's the second one that Victor sent me. That's a little bit harder. This one is z plus 8 going into z cubed minus 19z plus 83. And of course, the worst part, oh, plus or minus 11. The worst part about this is the fact that it has z's, so I'm going to put crosses on them. All right, so first things first. If you were to start here with the D in dead mouse, I would hope that this lets you know that we got some issues, right? We divide the first term by the first term, we get out a z squared. And then we go to put this on our little, I don't even know what this thing is called. Quotient thingy? I don't know. I don't know long division terms because I never do long division except for this. There is no z squared spot. So one thing you might want to do if you're doing this problem is add in a spot for every degree that's missing. So that when it started with z cubed, the next term should have had a z squared, but there were none of them. So let's put a 0 z squared, and then we can put the rest of this. And this will just keep us straight and organized. So minus 19z minus 11. So this is the trickiest way a long division problem can go, is when you don't have every term that you would expect in terms of decreasing degrees. So now that we've got that, we can do our multiply step. We need z squared times z plus 8, which will give us z cubed plus 8z. Squared. Goodness gracious. And then we're going to do our subtract. Pull those both off, which leaves us with a negative 8z. And then we'll bring down, I'm only going to bring down the one term because I know all I need is 1. And then we start over, right? So we do another divide. Negative 8z divided by z. Did I even write the, Goodness gracious, guys. You should yell at me through the screen when I do dumb things. Didn't even write the divisor up there. We're going to divide the negative 8z, and I forgot a squared. Holy crap, this is not my day. Our negative 8z squared divided by a z gives me a negative 8. So I'll throw, this time I won't forget, I'll put my negative 8 up here, and that's a negative 8z. But see, this is the nice thing about having a pattern, is I immediately knew something was off because I knew I needed a z here. So it's a lot harder to make mistakes when you recognize that, oh, there's a pattern and I filled in all my missing spaces. It helps you when you're having like the worst brain day ever. I had to like go to Best Buy to buy a freaking power adapter thing for my Surface because it wasn't, my Surface was dead and my power adapter had broken. So, but Best Buy didn't have it, so I had to go to the Microsoft store. It's been a long day. That's the point. Let's multiply 8z, z plus 8, negative 8z squared as we needed, minus 64z. I almost wrote 16 just to continue how crazy this day has been. So we get negative 8z squared minus 64z. And we'll do that. Ugh. We're going to change our signs when we subtract, right? So plus and plus. So I can't do this simple math in my head. At least I don't trust myself to do this simple math in my head right now. This looks like it is 45z according to my calculator. And now I'll bring down the minus 11. And we'll do another step. And that's, you can always tell you have another step because there's another space left, right? That's when you're going to stop, is when you run out of spaces here, that constant space. So my division is going to be negative 19z over z, which is going to just be negative 19. And then again, just like last time, I ran out of space, so I'll just do the multiply on the fly. This negative 19 times each term, so times z is a negative. Why did I do 19? Oh my God. I should just delete this, but it's too late. It's too late. I've done too much. It's like 12 minutes of recording. I should have done 45z. My goodness. Should have been negative 45. At least it was obvious when I went to go write things down. We knew they should cancel, right? I'm showing you all the things not to do in this video. So multiply those together, we get negative 45z. Ugh, 8 times a negative 45. We get a negative 360. We flip our signs around. And then 316 minus 11. We get 349. And we write out our final answer from the top. Z squared minus 8z minus 45 plus that awful remainder 349 over our z plus 8. And I have zero confidence in this because I made like 7 errors as I was doing it. Oh goodness, I got a different number than Victor. Whose mistake is this? He has a positive 64. Get a negative. What the heck did I do? Huh. It's so hard to figure out because his is not lined up. Goodness. So z squared, yes. Why did negative 8? Yes. Should be negative, turn them into a positive. I think I am right. I feel, okay, you have a plus 8z up here, Victor. Oh, because when you subtracted this, you did not subtract your 8z, you got a positive. Yes, I think mine is right and Victor's is wrong. Sorry, Victor. I'm going to take a small joy in this because it was a struggle bus to get here. But, I mean, if you notice, I made a ton of mistakes, but each of those mistakes I was able to catch because my work is so clean that every time I was like, okay, 19 times z. Oh, crap, that's wrong. What did I do? So as long as your work is really clear, it's a lot easier to catch those simple mistakes like the ones I kept making.